Now, do you see tar stains on my teeth or smell tobacco on my breath? My mouthwash is Targon.
Look how Targon removes tobacco stains.
If you smoke, use Targon.
Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Good morning, and thanks for joining us here at the Weather Channel for your tropical update and also Storm Watch. This edition of Storm Watch brought to you by Rayovac. Some interesting developments in the tropics, and of course closer to home, heavy rain and thunderstorms. And now moving into the northeast and also affecting Arkansas. Severe thunderstorm warning in Clark County continues. Let's take a look at the tropics first, and our tropical update begins with a look out across the Atlantic Ocean here. Cold core upper low, not of tropical origins here, well off the east coast. A weak little surface low developing here. If anything does develop, that will drift its way out to sea. As we get you into the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean, nothing earth-shattering happening here. Weak wave drifting its way off to the west. There are indications, though, as we head towards the weekend, some of this energy may try to develop some sort of a weak low pressure in the Gulf, but that is very far down the road, but that might be something to watch with time. As we get you into the eastern Caribbean, not much happening here either. Looking good around Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands. But as we look out to the Atlantic, though, we do see the intertropical convergence zone getting very active. A couple of disturbances here, but they are very far to the south. As we take you close to the coast of Africa, to see the waves rolling on off here. Yesterday, Hurricane Center said there might be a weak area low pressure out here, but as you can see, nothing looking terribly organized. And here it comes, the latest tropical wave, looking like a monster, blowing through the Sahel area in Africa. And it is getting to be that time of the year when these tropical waves have a better chance of developing in the Atlantic. So these red shaded areas are favored regions for development, looking back over the years. And these yellow lines tell us the direction the storms have tended to move. So as we recap the Atlantic for you, nothing much happening right now. A couple areas to watch as we head towards the weekend. Maybe the Gulf of Mexico as energy heads in that direction. And as these tropical waves move westward over the Atlantic, there is a chance that we could start to see some organization towards the weekend around the Windward and Leeward Islands. So those might be a couple of areas to watch, but right now, nothing happening. But in the tropical Pacific, we do have something happening, and you can see it right there, plain as day. This is a newly formed tropical depression. North of here, remnants of Frank right here, easing into nothingness, leftover moisture moving into the southwest. Let's focus our attention here on our newly formed tropical depression. Tropical Depression 8E as of 2 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. That's 5 a.m. Eastern. 11.8 north, 109.8 west, 750 miles southwest Acapulco, Mexico. Storm movement west-northwesterly at 10. So it's not an immediate threat to any land areas. And estimated pressure, 1,007 millibars, and conditions are favorable for further strengthening with this newly formed tropical depression. So you can see the cluster of clouds right here, well away from the coast of Mexico, and really does not pose a threat to land areas. Over in the Far East, so we've had our problems with Tropical Storm Penny. Here you can see China right here, and there's a Luichao Peninsula, and Penny made a turn up towards the northwest over the past 12 hours. It's now over land. This is the last advisory being issued by the Typhoon Center and out of Guam. And so as Penny moves over the Guangdong province here, we'll see some heavy rains and gusty winds, but really not all terrible news here. You know, you've heard about all the flooding. That's in the Yangtze River Basin here because of the stationary frontal zone, and we continue to see rain problems here. But in this part of China, it's been fairly dry, so the rain's really not all that unwelcome here in the Guangdong province. So that is the latest on Tropical Storm Penny weakening away. But as this moisture moves northward and gets into the Yangtze River Basin, we could have problems exacerbated here and around Wuhan on the Yangtze. The floods are just terrible here, and the water levels are being reported at 10 feet higher than the devastating floods back in the 50s. So a lot of problems continuing in China. Now, as it gets you closer to home, heavy thunderstorms, Clark County, Arkansas, severe storms here. Tropical downpours in ski country in Vermont this morning. Go figure. Well, there it is. You see the wet weather moving up into the northeastern United States. Clusters of showers and storms, Alabama, Arkansas, and Oklahoma, and just a few little thunder showers here in the high plains. See that on the lightning data. And notice in the northeast, you really don't see a whole heck of a lot of lightning. And the tropical nature of the air mass here, lots of heavy rain, but just a few rumbles of thunder, not much at all. So it could be some heavy downpours in the northeast and out in the high plains here, maybe some severe storms later today and tonight as energy in Montana hits a weak upslope flow. So those vacationing around the Black Hills might have to dodge around a few storms. Behind this front, pleasant summer polar air easing towards the lakes. As energy moves through the northeast, we'll gradually dry it out. And in the south, chances for rain on the increase as disturbances move slowly southeast.
The Northeast wakes up to more wet weather as thunderstorms brew in other areas. Find out if you'll need to keep an umbrella handy. Watch Weather Center after your local forecast.
This program was sponsored by Rayovac Rechargeable Alkaline.
Batteries.
Video games don't just blast through your batteries, they blast through your money. That's why you should arm yours with Rayovac Maximum Alkaline. They pack long-lasting alkaline power but cost less.
How about a little one-on-one?
Rayovac Maximum.